Nope.
What is up, you guys? I'm James from James Reptiles. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at my entire reptile room. It's going to be a reptile room tour. Now, this was asked in the comments by someone who watches a lot of the videos, so shout out to him. And it's something I haven't done in a while, and it's something I should do every couple of months just to keep everyone updated with what's going on project-wise, kind of just an overview of everything, and to show off kind of my some of my more eclectic animals, you know, like the blue beauties, stuff that's not really like, oh, leopard geckos, or oh this, or oh that. And it also lets you show some of my higher end stuff that maybe I don't talk about as often. I know a lot of people like to follow the Black Knight project. I have lily whites that I know some people really enjoy seeing. So we're gonna take a look at just kind of a generalization of everything. If there's anything you want to see specifically in a certain video, make sure to let me know down below. I can put it in the next tour, or I can even show it in the next video that I post. So without further ado, let's hop right into it. Alright, so let's start kind of on this wall towards this side. Of course, we have a mantle full of pictures and little knickknacks. This bucket right here is just kind of storage stuff I usually use when I'm working with the leopards, or if I'm weighing something, if I'm writing tags. It's got business cards, it's got stuff for shows, all that sorts of stuff. This right here is just my feeder rack. You guys will know I used to have a rack like this full of dubia roaches. It was actually that rack, but I don't breed dubia roaches anymore. I use the room for more exciting projects for myself. So we'll look at those, but right now it's got this bucket on top for crickets. This is tall enough to where they can't jump out, which is perfect. Right here is mealworms. These are going to be fed off later today to my baby geckos. And then down here, superworms, roughly 500 in each one. A bunch of mealworm beetles. I don't think I'm going to keep, but who knows. I know I've bred mealworms in the past, and it's not fun. It's kind of boring. It's kind of time consuming, but someone told me I should keep them, so here they are. I still don't know if I'm actually going to keep them, but like I separated a couple, you know. And here we get on to what I like to think of as the dresser. This is kind of a main shelf that's sturdy. I set all my random little things here: spray bottle, water bottles, cleaning spray, notebook, headphones, dinosaur guy. The camera for when I post pictures on MorphMarket, I use that camera right there. And this is just, you know, my breeding projects for this year for leopard geckos. So this is like the main leopard gecko rack. I'm sure next year I'll probably need a second one. But this is, you know, I just went through and cleaned these like an hour ago. So very oldest leopard gecko here, Malloy. He is very beat up but very large and a great eater. And we have his two girlfriends, Lefty and Righty. These two are definitely mainstays on the channel. They are two tug snows, each missing a hand. You can see right there, a nub. So one's missing its left hand, one's missing its right hand. And of course we have this guy from Canada I got from the urban gecko. Baby he produced just like him, and these two females are just stunning. Everyone loves these. I take these to shows just to show them off. I did produce one or two babies that look just like these this year, and they sold. And of course this one spilled its water already, which is why I didn't fill them up very much. But look at that animal. That's a crazy looking leopard gecko. Now it's almost like you don't want to take the color out, because the color contrasts that white just so well. Next we have, of course, Apex, my Black Knight, who I think I showed off in one of the last videos. And now he's got a bunch of his babies. I'm not going to show everything here. But of course, these two who need hides still, who are going to be awesome for this season. She just shed, he's going into shed, and they are going to make some beautiful babies. And of course, another female to go with that male. Now she's obviously not quite as nice, but hopefully it'll kind of extend the project and give me some more options to sell, and give everyone else, you know, if someone doesn't have quite as large of a budget, these are, you know, almost $200 animals, to get something a little less expensive, that's maybe still orange, still hypo, but not quite as nice. Now moving on, we have this rack right here, which goes all the way up to the ceiling, and we'll start at the bottom. So this is Frederick, my Vietnamese blue beauty snake. I'm getting on the ground with him. He is a rat snake. He's a great eater. I can feed him, you know, anything to up to medium rats, all the way down to like 6 jumbo mice. He'll eat them. He definitely likes to dig and hide underneath the substrate. And then up here is his girlfriend. I'll take her out and we'll take a look at her, but they still got about 2 years before they're breeding size. Well, he's definitely there, but she's got a little size to put on. Now, of course, she did take a nice big dump for me, and I just saw in my memories a picture of her, so I know I've had her at least a year now. But you can see her big old dump right there. She's a lot easier to take out than he is. She's, you know, if I hold her for like a good 15 minutes, she'll kind of get hissy and huffy at me. But him, he's the only reason I have that snake hook right there. He's ornery, and he's definitely a rat snake, which, you know, that kind of behavior is, you know, just obvious. You know, these snakes always have it, it seems, but a lot of people are trying to breed it out, and, you know, I think you can get some calmer animals like her. I hope for her to stay this calm. But now that she's eating jumbo mice, she'll definitely start putting some size on, and we'll get some awesome babies in just a few short years. And I can't wait to have a couple more of these in the collection. Moving upwards a little bit, we have the tower. This is corn snakes, which haven't eaten in 2 whole weeks because they are getting ready for brumation. So the idea is keep them at the same temperature so they digest. About a month, and then I'll pack them up into little smaller tubs, probably put the females together, and we will take them to my buddy's house. And up at the top, of course, we have 2 of my king snakes who have been in my collection for quite a while now. I'm not even going to show them, but of course they're still eating. They're not getting brumated. I'm not breeding them this year or anything like that. But moving on, we have a couple baby corn snakes. There's somewhere. Oh, it's in the paper towels. Of course, they're all hiding. But a reverse Okatee baby who ate frozen thawed for the first time today. She was eating boiled. And then this girl, a Tessera, Anery, Het Lava, Het Diffused, Het Hypo, who is going to make an awesome female to round out a trio that I have going on. And then, of course, this bad boy, this is my incubator. This is one of 2 incubators I have. It's the only one currently plugged in, and it's not even got a thermostat on it. This one is purely just keeping crested gecko eggs room temperature at the moment. So when it drops down to about 69, 70 at night, all the eggs in here are going to stay nice and warm. It does have a fan circulating air, and when you open it up, the light turns on, and inside we have one nice healthy looking gargoyle egg, the only one I have. And when this baby hatches, I am going to be torn. I would love to sell it and use the money to just kind of, you know, help the business out. But on the other hand, I should save it and raise it up. But then it's like, but then I'm waiting in like 1.5 years, 2 years before I can breed that one. And then how long before it has babies? So it's a tough call, but we'll see on that. Moving on, this corner is just kind of clutter of stuff I take to shows or stuff I don't use that often. But of course, the Crested Gecko breeding rack. Now up here, we've got colored tapes, we've got food, we've got gloves, we've got pens and such, we've got extra ledges, we've got all the different isopod foods. There are a lot of different isopod foods. And then of course, we have the breeding tanks. So this right here is of course the gargoyles. There's my male in the background, nice red stripe on him. And it's not like I was going for anything like that. But this is of course my female. Her stripe is not very red, but it's not meant to be. It's just kind of, I was just getting the first couple I could to try to start breeding them, to make sure I could do it. It's more just to prove to myself, like, hey, I've done it, I can do it, and then we'll start focusing in on projects. Now he's got giant horns, so hopefully that might be something I kind of use as a project. and I get, you know, nice bold red stripes with huge horns, that would be awesome. And then we'll just go from there, and maybe, who knows, in a year we'll have a second one for gargoyles, who knows. So up here we have my Dalmatian group. All my groups are definitely working projects, like I said. This is, you know, just the first two I could get my hands on. These Dalmatians I have bought over a couple like months last year, and they're not the nicest because I didn't, you know, spend the best money on them like I could have. I could have like a perfect pair, but, you know, of course, here's my male. Not the best. Definitely would like to replace him. If you don't know, it's kind of like a industry like tip. You know, the male, you want to make sure the male is nice, because if you could buy 3 amazing females and spend a bunch of money for awesome genetics, but if you don't buy the male, you're wasting 3 clutches from all 3 females, right? But if you bought an awesome male and spent, you know, just barely any money on the females, you get the same results, and you'd only have to buy 1 expensive animal. So if you have decent females, buy an awesome male and he can breed to all of them and pass on his awesome genetics. Now I have kind of a variety of females in here. I've got 3. Here's the nicest one, and I'll show you some of her babies in a little bit. Now all my crested geckos aren't laying right now, they're all kind of cooled, so she's really awesome. I can't wait to get more babies. I just have like 1 or 2 from her at the moment. And then somewhere, medium grade female, she's very large, lots of spots, of course lots of busy pattern we don't really want in there, but you know, we have her anyway, so we're going to use her, and we're going to get lots of awesome animals from her. And then of course we have 1 more female, and then of course this is the last female. You can see she's only got like a handful of spots on her back. I did buy this as a baby and raise it up. She was one of the first Crested gecko babies I bought. I bought her at a show, and you know, that's fine. You know, she's in here making some with spots, and she'll probably be the first one that gets replaced, unfortunately. But you know, I have, like I said, 1 or 2 babies I'm growing up. So one of them, hopefully it's a pair. Hopefully the really nice one can be the male, and hopefully the other one can replace this female. And then I think after that, you know, of course that one female wasn't the greatest, and the other one's not like the best, like it's up there, it's definitely up there, but I think we could do better. So after that, it kind of rounds the project out a lot more, and you know, we're producing a range of Dalmatians from the very top to almost the very bottom of what you would call a Dalmatian, where if we could just delete that bottom half and just produce like the best to like mid-grade, you know, then it's like a lot higher quality animals. She's taking a dump right now, so I'm just gonna go on to the next group like so. But like I said, the higher quality animals we can produce, the more we can sell them for, the more money we can make, the nicer quality animals we can buy for future projects. It's all just a big pyramid scheme, and I'm totally down with it. So this is a nice chunky female. This is my Pinstripe group. This is probably the nicest female. When I say Pinstripe group, I mean that's what it's aspiring to be. It's definitely nowhere near that. So this is the only like even close to Pinstripe female. She's partial pin. This female right here is probably going to be sold at the show. So if you're looking for an adult proven breeder female, she will be at the show. This was given to me by my buddy about a year ago. And of course you can tell there's not really any stripe there at all. Now I do have 1 or 2 geckos I'm raising up to go into this project and replace her, and eventually we'll get her in her own glass enclosure. This of course is my Lily White. She's a female, and she's pretty much adult size now. Now not quite huge chunky breeding, and she's definitely got some gunk on her foot, but I think she'll look really nice with this male right here, who's, you know, pretty much a pinstripe. He's broken up in a little spots, but just that head structure on this male is just gigantic, and I think they'll make some awesome light colored babies. So I can't wait to see that. Like I said, as soon as I get some more lily white babies, they'll go into their own tank, their own group, and I'll replace some of the pinstripes. Yeah, like I said, in January that one's going away and a new one's coming in who should be about breeding size by then, and that'll kind of, you know, just is a quad stripe, which is what I want, so hopefully it'll work a lot better. And he has his peens out, and he's licking his peens, so this is just a crazy video. This right here I was using as a grow up tank, and just about an hour ago I washed a couple of these and I moved 2 of these in here now. One of these is an animal that's for sale, and one of them is that quad stripe I was talking about, so I'll show that one in just a little bit. But right now I want to show you there's only one gecko left in here, and that's this animal. Now this animal's kinda an awesome tiger. I think there's a lot of potential there, and I'll show you in a few seconds, you know, the other animal that's going to be in here, and this is going to be the tiger group. So give it 8 months to a year and I'll have some adult tigers in here, at least hopefully a pair, if not 2 females. I can work with that. I can get a male if I need to, but you know, 2 males would be kind of hard, because then I have to find an adult female, and that's never easy. So I have this one, and I have a nicer one that I'll show you in just a minute. Let me get a new battery for my camera. Now I do want to mention, and we'll see when we get to the leopards, this is the least amount of babies I've had all year, cresteds and leopards together, because I've been doing such a good job at selling them, and that's thanks to you guys helping me out. But we'll take some crested babies out right now, and I'll show you which ones I plan on holding back. Not that one. This one right here totally fired down, but when I took it out to put it in this enclosure, it's a bright red, so oops, she jumped on the camera. Now this is, and I'm hoping it's a girl, this is my quad stripe. I raised it up from a baby. I'm hoping it's a girl. Let's check for pores. I see 0 pores, which is spectacular. So like I said, she fires up nice and red, and that's another group I want to do, is a red group, tiger group, lily white group. These are all groups I want to do. Exanthic group will be definitely in the future, maybe when the lily white group is all put together in 2 years, and the price of exanthics drops drastically because they are so darn expensive. Now she's just going to be in there for like I said, 2 months, give or take, till January. Not the best, not the biggest enclosure for her, but she'll be fine in there until I do put her in a bigger enclosure. And that other tiger I was talking about, the nicer one, is this one right here. This tiger is absolutely stunning. Just crazy. I know a lot of people, I've had people ask me to buy this to buy this animal off of me, and with no visual pores, with no visual pores, this animal is going to be an awesome female. Hopefully I get a breeding pair out of these two, but like I said, or like I implied, they're not together at the moment. The other one's a little bit bigger, so this one will probably have to reach full maturity before I can put her in that enclosure with the other one, because I don't want anything to happen. Or at least I'll get them pretty close, maybe 25 grams to 25 to 30 grams is usually when I start introducing females. And there's one more gecko I want to show you, one more baby. Obviously I have a lot of babies. A lot of them are in MorphMarket, some of them I'm saving for the show. I'd like to be able to take some animals to the show, because I did spend money on a booth, and I am going to spend money to drive down there. I'm taking days off of work. But this gecko right here is just an amazing Dalmatian that I produced. I didn't think I'd produce anything that awesome this year, but here it is. So eventually, I think very soon it's going to have its own enclosure, just so it can grow and explode in size, and it'll eventually replace one of the moms in the Dalmatian project. Now moving on to the last rack with animals, starting at the bottom. Bunch of random supplies, stuff I'd like to donate to the Herp Society, but of course they're not they're not holding gatherings right now. Deli cups for shows. Let's jump up real quick. More baby crested geckos. This is Steve. Steve is my only ball python. You might be thinking that's a really big tank for a ball python. It is and it isn't. I know a lot of people keep them small. If I was going to breed ball pythons, you'd know I'd keep them small because that's what makes business sense and that's how I work. But Steve's actually the most active ball python I've ever seen. He's in his hide, which is like super unusual for him. I normally, you know, find him out and about on this branch all day, every day. And he just loves to run around. So he is more of a pet and he'll never be sold. He's actually around 15 years old, which is getting up there for ball pythons. Now moving down to my leopard gecko rack. This is a Vivarium Electronics I-10 something. These are I-80 tubs and I-160 tubs at the bottom. Let's show off a couple of these babies. These are two normal males. I think one of those is sold. These two, that male's up for sale. This is up for sale, but it's probably, it's kind of spoken for at the moment by a friend of mine. These two, I believe, are runts. Yep, last pair of black knights and they're runts. That one, look at the arms on that super snow. Definitely looks like a galaxy. Definitely have to come in here and kind of tease feed these two, try to get them to eat. And then we have two more outsourced. I believe that one's sold. This one's still up for sale. I could be wrong on that, but just based off of memory. And then we come down here, and this is old Kink Tail. She is awesome. She definitely looks at clips as well. Look at those legs. And then this is the last one. I don't think this one's up for sale yet, but just look at how dark that super snow is. It's a black knight, of course. Now, I do have a couple extra tubs. So I am planning now. This is planning, so may or may not happen. But the goal is to order some more wholesale geckos, possibly this next coming week. So I'm going to leave a couple of those empty, and if there's anything I want to hold back, it's going to go in there. It's possible I buy a blizzard and hold it back, because I do have a female blizzard, and I kind of don't want to keep breeding her to a black knight next year. You know, I have enough babies from that pairing. Where it doesn't quite make sense to just keep doing it just to get double hets when I could be getting snow and super snow blizzards and selling those on their own and using the black knight more effectively. So that's kind of the leopard geckos. We're going to take a look at a lot of these snakes, so sit back and I'll take them out for you. Now, of course, this first one is not a snake, but this is more of a pet. This is Johann, my tomato frog, and my girlfriend definitely wanted to keep him. I had plans to sell him, but now he's in here. He's got his springtails. He might have some isopods. I don't know if they're still around, but this is just a little dirt setup. It's nothing too great, but it is what it is. It's Johann, and eventually I'll sell him. I'm sure a lot of people will complain about his setup, but he does great in it, and he is chilling. So we'll move on to the next one, which is a snake. Now this particular snake, my girlfriend wanted from Glenn at the last Sacramento show, and of course I couldn't tell her no, so we got it, and it is a male. It is a hypoanery lava something rather. I forget the name. I've got it written down somewhere, but it's a male. So I do have one baby growing up who's het for a lot of things for that project, and then I believe either this one or another one. This is my ice, which is lava anery tessera hypo female, who's eating awesome now. She's getting very, very long. So give this project 2 years. This is a yearling. Look at that stripe. I picked this snake out of the egg. I went to Glenn's house and he goes, I told him, hey, I told him a couple times, I go, hey, I know you have that project. We have a male, we have a year-old male. I might as well get a female because I'm not going to look at that male forever and just regret having him. And he said, sure, I've got some eggs hatching soon. And sure enough, one day he pulls them out and he goes, here are those snakes. If you want to put them away and you can put your name on some, And I said, well, what's the best combo out of there? And he said, well, this one. We pointed to two. I said, are they both female? And he popped them and checked them, and he said, yep. And I picked this one. So this is a Hypotessera ice, which I think could be like a ghost ice or a hypo ghost. There's a lot of like names for it, depending on how you'd say it. But look at the dorsal stripe on this. It goes from the neck all the way down. There's a little bit of notching in there, but nothing like crazy. And then breaks right at the end there. So this is like an awesome striped animal. That's the tessera at work there. And I can't wait to see her and him and another female in about 2 years. All the babies, they'll pop out. Now this will be the first year I produce baby corn snakes, so I'll have the practice by the time they're old enough, and hopefully next year I'll also have babies from these two. And I do need to upgrade their tubs as well. This is a female het albino, what's known as a dot dash pattern California king snake. Now I got her from a buddy, and she's definitely finally putting on some weight. I think she's like 2 years old, but her and the male definitely took a little while to put on some weight, and it probably didn't help that I was feeding them fuzzies for a while, even though I'm sure they could take more than that. But you know, I had them in the freezer, and for a while they were the smallest snakes I had, so I was kind of just feeding them to feed them. And of course there's the male. He's just the regular coral banded, which is what I love. Now, like I said, they are het albino, so this project 1 in 4 will be albinos, and the rest will be 66% pots het albino. Now, depending on how many albinos I produce, preferably I'll probably keep a pair. I might sell one visual. I mean, you know, it's hard. If I produce 2 males, obviously I'll sell one. But if I produce 2 females, it's kind of like, do I keep 2 females because I don't have a male to go with them? So I just keep breeding these every year and then raise the 2 females up. It's hard to say what I'm going to do at the time. Probably the best case scenario is just to hold them back and raise them up. It's probably the smartest decision. So for the time being, these guys are just here. I'm going to start getting some, well, in my freezer I have really small stuff for baby snakes, and I have really big stuff for adult snakes. And I need to get a couple medium-sized stuff for these guys. Hopper packs, adult packs. I really only have rat packs and jumbo mice, and then like pinkies and fuzzies. So these guys definitely need some hoppers and some adults, so that's probably what I'll pick up at work this week. Alright, so that's going to be it for today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed this kind of walk around the reptile room. Like I said, there are a lot of work and projects around here. You know, growing up some snakes, fixing some crested gecko projects. Nothing's ever done because you can always work further. You know, I can always get nicer quad stripes. I can always get Dalmatians with more spots. But there's a lot of stuff that is works in projects, that are works in progress. Definitely some more leopard groups I want to add to the room, and more incubators, more everything, more snake racks, kind of get these guys out of tubs. It's one of the end goals, but nevertheless, that's going to be it for today's video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. All that definitely helps out the channel. Make sure to hit me up on MorphMarket and look at some of the geckos for sale. If you find something you want, let me know. That definitely helps out. Like I said, I'll be at the Bay Area show. I think they finalized the dates. I want to say it's February 8, 9. I could be wrong on that. Last I heard it was like 24, 25 of January. But nevertheless, I'll be there. Make sure to hit me up on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, dangerousreptiles@gmail.com if you have any questions. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.